Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here with episode 15 of Macross 7. How about you go ahead and remind us of everything that didn't happen last time?
Oh yes. Last episode was episode 14, Fighting Woman Major Milia, which had very little fighting, very little Major Milia in it. Like she came out like literally like 3 minutes on the clock.
She had 2 minutes of screen time, I think.
At yeah, at most. Essentially, they're repairing the full system. Firebomber is still doing what Firebomber does, but in this case, they go to two concerts. Well, they set up one concert which was successful in a veterans retirement home, and they cheered
Silver
up the
Paradise.
which they cheered up the old folks who remember the original war to tell you that this is kind of signaling like, yeah, remember those people in the 2008 to 2009? Yeah, they're old now, they're they still love rock and roll and they love Firebomber, but and they're all about that Lin Min May thing, which we'll get to in a moment.
I mean, they would be, what,
Uh,
37 years older?
yeah, so they were in the 20s, so some of them will be between 50s and 60s, I suppose.
Well, I mean, how old was Max back in the day?
He was probably like 17 or 18. He was pretty young.
Right, so he's like middle-aged now.
Yeah, he's middle age. Um, and so there's that. And then Firebomber gets set up for another concert, this time from some kiddies. Meanwhile, okay, we get the following. We get Gamlin finally realizing that Mylene lied about knowing um Basara, the fact that they're in the same band, which he should have put together
He
earlier, but he
did.
finally got him.
He put
Yeah,
it together. He's just been like lying to himself or giving Mylene the benefit of the doubt because he saw
yeah.
them at the fishing
Resort
resort
ship,
place, yeah,
resort, yeah,
and he asks her about it, and she's like,
yeah.
and then he keeps seeing them together constantly. Or the evidence. Oh, we're in the band together. Oh, this is Guvava. Wait, I've seen Basara with Guvava. You know.
Yeah. And essentially, he's questioning himself whether she's lying to him to protect them, or because she's interested in Basara. But then, if she's interested in Basara, why she's kind of dating him? Apparently, that seems to be the vibe that they're dating. Right? They got on 2 dates, I suppose, or two attempted dates, which have always been interrupted. No, actually, one of them didn't get
I
interrupted.
thought you meant she was dating Basara for a minute, and I was like really
No, no,
confused.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
She's dating Gamblin,
I
right?
thought you were saying
Uh,
that based on Gamlen's questioning of Physia. What does it mean if a girl lies to you about knowing another
yeah,
man?
yeah. And he's like, I don't know, she doesn't care about you, dude. But sir. um, and then he goes to visit his old friend, Docker, who is now seems to be recovering. And as we pointed out, and by we I mean Theta has pointed out multiple times, that the music is affecting them and getting recovery. He's the one who picked that up very quickly in the first episode, in fact. And we get the doctor who says, "Hey, I'm using music to help these people out." It's like, but it's like, "Oh, that's great." Graham was like, "Okay, what is it about?" It's like, "Well, meet me in my quarters later tonight." And it's like, okay. And then we get by far the most bizarre scene I've seen, well, since Phantasm. And Phantasm has had an excuse that it was like a fever dream, right? Because we see the doctor dressed in a very weird way, including a crown that has a CD on it, something on it. And yeah, it seems like he stapled a CD on the crown that he was wearing.
My memory
Um,
fades. I remember he was wearing what I thought was some sort of like mid-May costume, but
like super,
now in my head, I'm remembering like the villagers from Macross Zero. I'm
yeah.
like, whoa, is Dr. Chow related to the villagers?
Whatever happened, his personal room is filled with posters to Lin Min May. So I guess he's old enough to remember Lin Min May, or it's one of those retro fans where it's like, oh, not my time, but I still like her. And he straps Gamlin to a chair and forces him to listen to some music, which Gamlin hates. And he's analyzing the result because he has this theory that music can reach people, right, in a way, and alter their emotions and all that. And that's supposed to be significant somehow. And Theta said, well, it could be that he actually discovered the whole spiritual thing without naming it. All the while, Gambling is writhing in the chair because he hates, because he's listening to Firebomber and he doesn't like Firebomber music. So he's like, "Can
Is
you
he?
please stop it?" No, it
Isn't
was
it?
Firebomber music.
No, I'm
It
saying
wasn't.
isn't Basara and Mylene singing Lin May's thing?
No, but that song wasn't a Lemon May song. It was a song specifically for the show.
Because I mean, he's a Lin May
May
fan,
fan,
but he's
yeah,
playing the movie that they made a couple episodes
yeah,
back. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be it's either that or it's from the combat section, which would be their song. I don't know.
yeah. Either way, and Gambling doesn't like it, which means he gets the wrong result. And we leave with him still strapped to the chair,
It
listening to the music
there's two things
and
there.
screaming.
There's two things there. One, I would kind of almost enjoy it if the next series of episodes Gamlin doesn't get away, that turns into like a horror movie situation. That Dr. Chow has just gone fucking insane, and they have to
I
like
guess so.
perform a rescue operation on Gamlin. But
Yeah, because
the more serious thing though is I think that's probably gonna play out for the best though. The fact that Gamlin didn't like the songs, because
mhm,
recall he describes his detector as detecting emotions and giving a numerical value to it, which is essentially what the spiritua detector is. And the fact that the spiritua that are enemies, 'cause we don't have a name for them, are detecting are terror and fear. Those are negative values. So his little homemade spiritua detector is going to be detecting the numbers that our bad guys are detecting, which puts him par for par with the technology he doesn't even know already exists.
yeah, but it comes out of so left field. Like, oh, I'm just doing this on my own, and I'm subjecting this military officer to this experiment because reasons, right? Uh,
Yeah, no.
medical ethics, experimental ethics. I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna
it's not even
induct a
that.
human.
I said last
It's
time
just
I hated that he just brings it out of nowhere. The guy just invented
out
a
of
spiritual
nowhere.
detector on his own with no follow up. It's like I'm gonna do real scientific research into mood rings is what this guy just
Yeah,
decided to do.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, we jump into Firebomber doing another concert. This time, they had tried to do another concert because the idea is that they will show up with the VF-19 and do aerobatics for the kiddies while the rest of the band plays and sings because they're gonna love that. Mind you, CD7, the part of the city, is still in unknown space all this time. We have infiltrators who then show up because they said that their leader decides to just kill Basara because he has this weird spiritual reading, so he's not going to take any chances. He's going to kill him. So this leads to an attack within CD7. I was saying CD17, but that's a completely different thing. Uh, for those who know. If you don't know, good. You're actually like 20 something, which is great for you. Anyway, they have this fight or pursuit throughout the city, right? The bad guys pursuing Basara. Basara is trying to lead them away from the kids so they don't get hurt. Probably killing a bunch of other people in these other buildings to get wrecked because there's no curfew or anything like that. People are just on the streets, right? And finally, Milia shows up. Milia has the opportunity to destroy these two guys like that, but no, she decides to interrupt that to give flying lessons to Basara, which we know he can fly his
Because it's
mech
been
with
flying
his
since
guitar.
episode one.
Yeah, like crazy. He doesn't get touch. Tells him to switch to Gerwalk mode, which somehow Basara doesn't know how to deal with and nearly crashes. It doesn't do anything either.
I guess if you think about it, I'm really trying here. I don't think we've ever seen him in Gerwalk mode up until this episode. He's always been
Yeah,
in
but
the humanoid form or in the jet form.
either way, it doesn't really do anything because eventually
What it
she turns the
does,
table.
what it does is it ties him to Hikaru. If you remember, his first failed thing was Gerwalk
Yeah,
form.
true, but completely unnecessary again because we know that he can fly this thing,
Yeah,
with a guitar,
I'm not
with a
arguing the
guitar
benefits of it. I'm
interface.
just trying to interpret what the fuck they're up to. They
Yeah.
gave
So
him a
fight.
Lin May episode where they dressed him as Hikaru. Now they're saying, oh, he's just like Hikaru in this way, I guess.
Yeah. Uh Milia finally turns the tables on these guys, shoots them down. One of them actually gets off the cockpit. She gets off her cops, like, oh, I'm gonna get myself a prisoner. The guy pulls a gun, shoots her on the leg. She's like, ow, you shot me. And then the guy either faints or dies. She tells Basara to leave, and the cops show up, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, I didn't remember her telling Basara to leave. I just remember Basara booking it.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the fact that they're doing concerts, the lead up to them doing concerts after City 7 has been abducted
Yeah.
is what Mylene gets attacked twice. Like before she gets kidnapped at the restaurant, she also gets attacked at the last concert they did before Silver Paradise, which is right out in the open. They all get
Yeah.
attacked. They've attacked Basara before in the past. They're always attacking the band. And they're like, let's keep doing concerts. By the way, it's Mylene is getting them bookings. Hey, you remember how all the last few gigs we've been at, like literally, it's only the gigs we've been at, have been attacked. By the way, book us for another gig. Who?
Yeah.
Other than Akiko, who?
I mean, I would, if we were trying to do like try to anthem between the lines. Oh, they are getting the information from the concerts and they're tracking. Nah, this is just pure contrivance. I just feel that this whole episode. I mean, the whole we
Oh no,
talked
no,
about
I'm
this
not talking
before.
about the infiltrators perspective. I just mean that if you're booking gigs and you say,
Uh,
"Oh, it's a firebomber," every gig they've ever been to has been attacked by the infiltrators. I've got this kitty party that I need a band for.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I the only thing I can think is that from the perspective of being a rock band, right? What they do is, and I said this before. That's what they do. They perform. Okay, fine. I'll just leave it at that. And they have to perform for different people. Okay, no problem. The problem is that again, it's what happens. Everyone else who should know better go like, including Ray, who should know better, goes like, yeah, we're gonna do this. This is perfectly fine. Curfew? Who knows it? Who needs a curfew? Yeah, we're fine. Everything's normal. Don't worry about it. Everybody's supposed to be terrified because of the infiltrators and the people got kidnapped, but we're just gonna keep, It's even at least in SDF one when they made announcements, they were lying, right? Like, oh yeah, no, we completely beat those guys back. Don't worry about it. And then Hikaru goes like, no, really, we took heavy casualties. They're kicking our asses. Like,
Global had to
you know,
worry about a citywide riot if he told
yeah.
people things. Milia, I mean, she's barely. I mean, she's like, if something bad happens, I don't have to worry about these people anymore. She says that out loud, and her
Yeah.
advisor's like, Mayor. It's just like,
Yeah, but that's the problem that up to that point she wasn't acting like that. All of a sudden she's like, "Here's the dummy politician ball. You can't be a fighter pilot ace and a brilliant politician, either one or the other. And we are not really letting you be a brilliant fighter pilot either because we just give you like a minute of fighting, and when you are fighting, you're not even fighting effectively. So, eh,
I mean, I guess maybe 30 something years outside of the cockpit has dulled her down.
I mean, if that could be so demonstrated, like they get a shot in and they damage
They
the
did shoot
neck
her
or
in the
something.
leg.
Like, yeah, when she was like walking with not even a weapon, I was like, oh, of course the
I
guy. And
mean,
the guy pulls
dude,
a gun,
it
he's
was
like,
literally
of
dumb.
course,
It was dead just laying
yeah,
on the ground, and he was like, ah, and she freezes. It's like,
yeah,
and then I guess he died. Just got one shot off and died.
yeah. I mean, at least I guess they get a body to dissect.
Well, remember this? She used to be the knife fighter that got beaten by
Yeah,
Max in a,
yeah.
So she's not like she couldn't like dodge or jump out of the way or something when he brings us the gun. We know she's good for it, or was. Who the hell knows? 8 kids.
I mean, she still has the body of 20, well, the equivalent of a 20-something-year-old after eight kids, because
I mean,
maybe
on
like
the outside. Plus, she wears like
yeah.
these uniforms, so who the hell knows?
Oh well, she was wearing the tight old,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, that can just hug.
UNR.
That can hug it all in.
Yeah,
It's been one of those where you unzip and everything comes out.
yeah. But this being anime, I don't think they would do that
Well, I
unless it
also
was for
don't
a
assume
very
that
big
she's
thing.
gonna unzip and we're gonna see everything either. So
No, yeah,
I don't know. There's been a
not
history of Macross going back and forth with the nudity.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't know.
there's that. It's
Yeah.
just this feels like, and this might be a scenario where, oh, we finally get to do a new series on our own terms. We get 40 some episodes to do it. Oh crap, we have way too many episodes. What do we do?
Well,
Uh
I feel like they're doing a kind of SDF Macross where we focused a lot on the love triangle. Hmm. We focused a lot on the love triangle. Then we did a bunch of narrative, like these are the important moments for the Zentradi human relationship or
mhm.
war or whatever. And it feels like we're getting the love triangle, we're getting the narrative, but then they also just want these weird slice of life episodes as well, which aren't
Mhm.
relationship focused, but are just in the world. So it's the watering down effect. Like if we just added a bunch of SDF Macross episodes that didn't focus on the problems of Minmay, Hikaru, and Misa, but were just like, what does Roy do when he's at the bar? Just shit like that. I feel like is
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
getting here. What's Roy's training like?
And the thing is that, again, I know that Macross Plus is not your favorite
Nope.
thing. But we do know that they can be efficient with time when they have a bigger budget, but a shorter term. Because Macros Plus, I mean, they didn't really waste a lot of time. You think about it compared to here. I mean, they could have shaved like an entire episode, maybe
I
at
mean,
most.
yeah, I'd give Macross Plus that. There's at least
Yeah.
there's nothing I can remember as wasted time, unless you count the concerts. But I know that would just get me hate.
I mean, that's just the whole concert thing is designed to set up the fact that the music and the effect on people, which I know
I don't
you
think
didn't
it
really get.
does. In fact, when you go back to point it out to me, in all the things, you point out the scenes that don't happen at the concert as setting up the concert having that effect. I don't see it at the concert. I see it with things that people say when they're like setting up the mind thing for
Yeah,
what's her name? All that shit. Like
yeah, showering apple, yeah.
yeah, like no, the other one. The main girl.
Isamu's, yeah, yeah. I forgot her name.
Yeah, anyway. Just like 5 second, 10-second little intervals, and like three of them. And they all set up the concert effect. For me, the concert effect is not that great. I don't really enjoy watching the holographed Sharon Apple dancing around, seducing a guy, and then being hacked by another guy. We know that guy can hack. They set it up in other scenes. So it's like that's the only real play I get there. That or maybe what's her name still has a thing for Dyson, but we get more of that later too. So, but
But
I
even then,
understand the music is important for Macross, so that's why that's important. So the fact that I don't like that music is just a secondary play to that. That's why I said I would get hate if I said the concert is superfluous.
yeah, and I do. Okay, if you were to take all the stuff from this episode and even last episode, and sort of tear it apart, well, especially this episode, those things are not, except for the whole strap to the guy. I won't forget
Which is
that what happened.
actually important. I think that's actually an important aspect.
It's
It's
important, but
stupid, but it's
it's
important.
it's horribly executed. That's the problem I have with it. You have a good idea, very poor execution. So even if you take that part and you would have put it in other episodes, like, oh, by the way, this is happening, right? That would be cool. But these series of episodes is like we are stranded in the middle of space. We have nowhere to go. The enemy is looking for us, right? They kidnapped us. They're still in the ship. We don't. The next thing that could happen is that the entire enemy fleet could show up with us, and just we're doomed. We're
I'm
screwed.
going to
And
invoke
yeah,
a reverse Justin rule here. You've
uh huh.
mentioned that you saw the first Gundam movie, right?
Yes.
which is itself a compilation of the episodes and, a little bit of a better
Mhm.
animation and the inclusion of some stuff. You remember, oh god, I can't remember the name of the place all of a sudden. It's like Moon 2 or something like that in the movie.
Side side two.
No, no, not Side 2. It's a moon base where like the asteroid where like the resources are being made for like side or being ex
Extracted for side two. Yes. Yeah.
no, no, Side 7, I believe.
Side seven. Because there's
Um
side two, side seven. There's side five. I mean, there's a lot of
I went
sides.
over this stuff so
Uh,
many times I just remember
are
names
you
of
talking about
places.
Anaheim?
No,
Anaheim
no, no, no,
corporate
no.
headquarters,
No. That's on the
or
moon.
the
That's on
mining
the
area?
actual
Oh,
moon. Anaheim
yeah,
actual headquarters is on the moon. No, this is like Moon 2, Luna 2. Sorry, Luna 2.
Luna two. Oh, okay.
In the movie, they go there, they say, "We can't accept you. You're going to have to go to this place," and then they just fucking fly off. That is all of Luna 2 in the movie. In the show, there's like 2 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes of Luna 2, or everything around Luna 2. That's what I imagine here, is that we're just going to cut out complete episodes. Like, they're going to take City 7 from Battle 7, and we're just going to cut all of this. None of this is important.
Yeah,
We're
because
gonna
this.
pretend that it's very deadly situation or a very important situation, and we're just gonna go straight from them kidnapping City 7 to whatever happens after this arc where we get there.
Yeah, because we're due two movies, I think, with Macross
Well, that's what
7.
I mean. I'm comparing it to the Gundam
Yeah,
movie that you said you
yeah,
saw, where I
yeah,
know that they've cut out entire episodes. Like, we didn't keep any of it. That's what I'm
yeah.
imagining happening here. We're gonna go back to whenever they kidnapped City 7 to
Hmm.
whatever happens when they get there. All of this middle shit, except for maybe the
Yeah,
doctor going crazy, is gonna hell. Maybe they'll do a real do remember love thing where they're gonna like show the doctor going crazy for real and make it a real thing, like a real psychological thriller with the doctor.
yeah, or something like that. Or maybe they just rework it and it's like, oh no, the doctor was working on this. Hey, doctor, what do you got? Yeah, I found this. That's it.
I mean, I don't know.
Like
I
they
would have
did,
actually.
like they did with Misa. Like they do Misa. Misa gets a, oh hey, I found this. I can translate it. Okay, translate it
I
away.
wasn't a
That's it.
fan of that either. That just came out of nowhere. Can you imagine if instead of these 3 episodes, we had like Black Phone with the doctor? He's like multiple personalities. He thinks he's Lin May. Was it blue gender? You see blue gender? He goes blue gender. He thinks he's Lin May. Starts dressing up as Lin May. Watches her shit. You know,
Yeah,
instead of him strapping Gamlin to the chair to do his thing, he straps Gamlin to the
yeah.
chair, and instead of playing the thing, he dresses up as Lin May and starts play or singing her songs and playing instruments.
Doing karaoke, solo
Go a whole
karaoke.
blue gender on him. I want a real psychological thriller out of the Doctor instead of
Uh,
we're probably gonna forget he did this to Gamlin next episode.
in fact, that scene where he straps gambling to the chair, that is actually shown in the teaser from the previous episode. And I thought for a second that he had been captured, like because they jump in
Yeah.
and then City 7 is like, oh well, the enemy shows up and they capture these guys. These guys fought until they ran out of ammunition, couldn't go back. They got captured and they slam gambling and they're torturing him for
You know, I
information or something,
agreed
right?
with you that I thought that's what
Yeah.
happened as well
And then
before.
we see this is like that would have been better. Not great because then, I guess it would have been a rescue gambling mission or he dies or
Well,
something either
instead
way.
of the doctor inventing
Or
a spiritual detector, it would have been us figuring out what the spiritual farm is
yeah,
by Gamlin being in very great danger.
yeah. He either dies, gets rescued, or gets brainwashed,
Well, it
which
would
would have
have
been
been
interesting.
the
Interesting.
breakout episode of SDF Macross
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
Gamlin gets captured. Then we see I can't, his name starts with a
Well,
K.
well,
K Physia,
uh,
Kinryu
his boss
Physia.
and his boss.
Well, no,
That's a
his
weird name.
Kinryu is his boss.
Yeah.
Maybe Docker. Maybe have Docker come back for that.
Yeah.
Kinryu, Physia, and Docker go and break Gamlin out from his thing, and then they have to figure out a way, and then they steal one of the ships, and they jump back, and that's how Fulmo remembers what all this is when he sees one of the ships up close, and they can investigate it. And, like, that's when Fulmo breaks out of his fugue state, and like,
Yeah.
I've got something to tell you, Max, but I have to tell you in private. I can't leave the bridge because I'm bolted to the floor. It's like
Let me turn around.
clear
Let me
the.
turn around.
Max
No, no, no,
says
no.
Max says clear the bridge. You know,
He turns around to the other room. It's like, I'll see you in the other room, and he just talks to the guy in the other room, or something like
it would
that.
have been a real good serious way to
We
take it and still play an homage to SDF Macross by having similar things happen. You know,
mm.
it's like poetry. It rhymes.
And actually would be believable because these other characters that actually are doing something, unlike Basara. And I mean, okay, to be fair to Firebomber, they are hyping the spirits of the people in of their side. That's working. That's what they're getting at as they're becoming more popular. But that's it. That's
I've
all. That,
said before, well, it,
that's
it
it.
it plays to the spiritual farm is what it does because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
replenishes them, and then these people feed on the spiritual of those people. And I think I've said a number of times, I believe it's going to be the case that at some point their songs are going to replenish the spiritual of the bad guys, which is just going to do the Centrati thing. Well, not the Centrati thing. The Centrati didn't need to live off of the songs, but you know, it's the culture now. The
Yeah.
spiritua is going to be culture for them in that all they have to do is listen to the spiritua and they can survive. Except, I guess this was one effect that worked well. When they decided to do the boombox thing
Mhm.
and they're scanning all the people because they recognized that the boomboxes were playing special chord C, which is the type of spiritua they attribute to Basara. That none of the other people they scanned had the spiritual they were looking for, even though Special Chord C was playing. Now, we know that playing the thing without Basara being there can still affect you because Doctor's awake now, and, you know, crazy Doctor is still. The
You're
experiment
crazy.
worked. The experiment
Yeah.
worked, regardless of the fact he did it for no reason. Because, why'd you do this? I really like Lin Min May. But we know it has an effect to invoke spiritua in people that have none
Mhm.
or help them recover, but it doesn't seem to have the spiritua that they're looking for. So we just got to cover that middle ground of how does it affect us? Why doesn't it have the thing they're looking for? And boom, all we have to do is now, give them a recording and they'll be set for life.
Yeah. Or they find a way to weaponize it such a way that, like they did with Lin May songs, they weaponize them so that they get jammed or
Well, that's
something.
why
I
I'm
don't know.
saying I don't think it's the same as the Zentradi thing, because the Zentradi thing, it was like psychological warfare.
Yeah.
But this,
Yeah.
it's like these people are starving and the music is their food. Or rather, the music grows their food, I think is the more apt
Yeah.
example. So, and it can't grow the food in them, it can only grow the food in us, which allows them to feed off of us. So if we could find a way to grow the food in them, it's not so much a weapon as a relief effort.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. And I would again, ironic. We're kind of facing the same situation we face in SCF1. We might be having too many episodes, basically. And so, because we have so many episodes, we got to fill time, even though they're 20 to 25-minute episodes. How long is this?
The argument
Yeah.
I made before was that I feel like some of these are just out of order. Like
Hmm.
the last episode, we could have put before the kidnapping, and whatever the episode this one looks like, we could have put before the kidnapping, and then whatever's going to come after these like little middle filler arc episodes,
Yeah.
we just put the kidnapping back to back with the after effect because
Yeah.
nothing in the episodes after the kidnapping have to happen after the kidnapping. Nothing is like Gamlin's out there looking for us. Nobody knows any of that. It's all isolated information.
I mean, it also feels like, even though Macross wasn't born out of manga, but it feels like either the mangaka is filler because he needs to have, he just needs another, couple of pages for the next shonen, magazine, or the people doing the anime are waiting for the mangaka to actually make the manga so they can adapt it, so they have like, oh, let's have these 5 or 10 episodes of our own stuff being filler until finally the writers catch up, right? The people we're scripting from, right?
I've watched
It kind of
enough
feels like that.
old school. Who made Evangelion? I forgot the studio's name. Gainax. Old school
Gainax, yeah.
Gainax, where they would just start start a story and then like not have anywhere to go. And I don't mean like plot wise. I mean like the storyboards weren't finished that morning, and they just told
Hmm.
people to make something.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Gainax way, mostly. That's why you end up with the Gainax ending, which is
Well,
a trope on itself, yeah.
I don't know. When I think about it, I think of like Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water, where
Mm.
the middle of the thing is just fucking nonsense, and then it ends on like the last 5 or 6 episodes, which are perfect. So if you just cut all of this out, it's perfectly fine, beginning and end. It's the middle that made no sense. They knew
Yeah.
where they started.
Again,
They knew where
filler.
they were going. Oh, it's worse than filler. I mean,
Yeah.
it is the epitome of hiring out a South Korean animation studio with a very low budget, and then also having no story. Like they finish, like, even in the filler, they finish with, oh, Nadia and oh god, I'm forgetting his name. The two main characters admit their love for one another. And then the next episode, they're in Africa, and Nadia falls in love with this random guy she finds. Gene is his name. Not the random guy, the other main character. Falls in love with this random guy, forgets Gene even exists, and that huge, heartfelt, admission to one another that we actually care, we love, and everything like that, out the window. Because we just forgot
Yeah.
it existed because we needed something. Also, this is one of those South Korean low animation episodes where everyone looks like shit compared to what they looked like an episode ago in the other filler arc.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. And I mean, we kind of said the same thing when they were doing the trip and they got to Earth, but they only had like 2 episodes to happen. Even then, there was an excuse for like global reports, like, well, it's just a clip show, right? It's
Well,
if
Global
you
Report
haven't been
happens
watching
after
it.
they get back.
Exactly, but those couple of episodes where they're in on Earth is like, oh, we got Earth. What do you do, right? That didn't last too long, and they were still doing things like, hey, we got to inform our superiors of what's going on. So even Global Report, which is just a clip show, it's like, well, I'm filing a report because we're being space. That's what I'm supposed to do with this gigantic computer here. Hey, I'm going to speak to this microphone. It There's a reason for it. Is like it's not a strong reason, but it's a consistent reason,
It's
right? Here
funny.
is like,
It's funny you bring it up because I think I would rather have a filler episode than what we've gotten so far.
yeah,
City 7 gets kidnapped. Milia does a global report as a, in case we don't survive this sort of thing, here's how we got here, where she recaps everything that's happened so far up until City 7 getting kidnapped. And that's it. That's all the filler we need.
yeah. But
Uh,
alas,
yeah, I think it's about time we get into it, though. See
yeah.
what, God, what was it? Girls' Torment? Girls' Dilemma?
No, girls' jealousy.
I was close. I was close. Anyway, go ahead and get on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, see, it's just, they're like built into the hill, the houses. Before I used to live in a place like that, when I used to live in the mountains of Maryland.
It makes sense. I seen it all here in Puerto Rico as well. It's pretty mountainous, so you see like houses are like
Well, it's
all
like,
stilts or built into the side.
from one side it looks like a 3-story home, but in fact you come in on the ground floor and it's the basement
Yeah.
that's on halfway out of the thing.
Yeah, or in stilts or.
Well, that's different. That's where I live now, is you have the beach houses on stilts, to avoid the flooding and the hurricane weathers and everything like that. That's always my plan in case I'm running out of things to talk about in the opening. Zombie apocalypse. Just to go to one of the stilted houses, you cut out the stairway, and you can make little ramps between the still good
The
houses.
houses,
Yeah. You know, use one for storage, use one to live in, use one, all of them to collect water. You know, I plan for that thing that will never happen. I don't know, you know, it's just fun to think about. It's the genie's wish scenario, right? Let me spend a lot of brain power on this thing that will never happen, ever, because it's not real. Weird that they gave them heads and faces when they barely had them before. We know where we're at? True. Oh, it's just a
no,
headlamp.
it's not a CD. It's a headlamp that he's wearing. For some
See, like I said,
reason.
I thought it was like a feather in my bad memory. Why?
And she says, "Don't call me an old lady."
My problem is that the guy that shot her also looks like the leader of the infiltrators. But they also have like a number of them that dress like that too, so we can't tell which one of them is the leader.
Yeah, that seems to be like their spacesuit for combat.
I think it's their generic, it's easier not to animate faces, budget-saving device.
Yeah.
Oh, please be arresting the doctor. Nope. Oh, that's right, they're not in the same place. I keep forgetting. Oh, I thought we agreed that he died.
No, they captured it, apparently.
Maybe he needs the spacesuit to keep himself refreshed on spiritual. Because he looks in the coma state that everyone who gets trained to spiritual is in. They're human. Oh, I was right. Because everyone's fucking human in this show. Liz and Trotty are basically human.
Oh, he's from Earth. No, not merely that he has the same DNA. He has DNA markers of being from Earth.
I think I already threw this theory out before that fourth planet expedition that the fighter craft all come from. I don't know, maybe they found something and woke it up, and that's what he's from, Earth. Because remember, the other people are from 500,000 years ago, so clearly he's not from that Earth. And it is just Stargate Wraiths.
People own Battleroids?
Looks
People
like
just own these?
that explains the monster that we talked about at the end of the last episode. Also, that was clearly just a construction robot.
Yeah.
Yet we decided to fill our intergalactic spaceship with them.
I guess that's why people don't complain that he has YF-19, because everybody has their own Battleroids. It's a thing you can buy in the civilian market. Those are the old men from the...
Yeah. The ones that keep saying, oh, I hope these are people that we know from the past.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense compared to what we saw in Macross Plus, how careful they were around military hardware. It's like, oh, people just own these giant machines because reasons. All of them could destroy the city in a single...
Oh, you don't get it, Lessons. It's like when you take a motorcycle home after World War II. From Europe to the United States, right? It's just like that, clearly.
Or or a Sherman tank,
Yeah.
or a 105 howitzer, millimeter howitzer.
You know, I just kept stealing supplies from the motor pool until I was able to send home a tank in individual parts back to my wife, who knew exactly how to put it back together again.
Yeah, no, my buddy, he worked, he was a tank mechanic in the Gulf War, and he just brought back an M1 tank because that's what you do.
I guess, to be fair, you can actually buy a surplus tank. It just has to be, you know, what do you call it?
Demilitarized.
Yeah.
乗ってどうすんだよ、遊園地じゃねえんだぞ。
いいじゃないお祭りなんだもん。
見れぬ。
But in which case, all these Battleroids would be useless.
I guess.
I guess except for melee fighting with the other guys.
これはテストなんだ。敵が襲ってきた時に使えるかどうかのな。実際に戦えるパイロットを探してるんだ。
本当に？
ああ。
Well, they're.
じゃあやっぱりやるわ。
Oh, great. Instead of just getting them into a simulator, they're like, oh no, just get in the giant robot. We'll see if you can actually pilot it.
でもやるわ。やらなくちゃ。
見れぬ。
Oh, she knows how to pilot. She's shown that she can pilot it.
Well, she's shown that she can pilot the jet.
Yeah.
まあな。
Something pudding. That's all I saw. She likes pizza and something pudding.
14歳。
はい。年齢制限ありですか？
なあ、それはな
They
いけど。
better be.
じゃあ
Nope.
合格ですね。
いや、
You gotta see all the kids in the back of this line. You know, waiting to be the last starfighter with some shit.
市長。
バトロイドがおもちゃ代わりだろうと年齢制限がなかろうとあなたはダメです。
At least she had some sense.
なんでよ。私だって。
これ以上心配の種は増やさないで。私はあなたのことばかりを見ているわけにはいかないの。はい、不合格。次の人。
何よ。
Okay, I get that. Okay.
もう。
It's only
I
because she's
get
her
that they're trying
daughter.
to.
There's no
Yeah, I know,
age
but-
limit, and she's sitting there on the panel. Hey, it's what's her name?
Rex.
Rex.
Rex in the
今
game.
度歌い
Yeah.
ながらミルキーロード流してみな。最高だぜ。
Right, the Milky Road. Yeah, sure.
もともとはみ出して走ってたけどさ。
Remember, that's in the opening song of the show.
Yeah, I know.
市長も分かってんのかな、バトロイドに乗せてくれるなんて。
分かってねえぞ、そんなこと。
当たり前じゃん。
ちゃんと列に戻りな。
Okay, I get that they're trying to get some kind of militia going. Okay, fine. But and if these were in like storage, like hey, surplus storage in the ship, I get that. But no, bring your own Battleroid, which I guess you were keeping in the backyard of this ship. You know.
I think it's like, you know, like when everyone gathers all their muscle cars together in some parking lot, and they all go to talk about it. Just what the shit that we're proud
申し込み
of.
すんだろ。
Okay. Does your muscle car have
だってガキだろ。
an artillery piece attached to it?
お前受かったの。
We don't know that those are activated. Like you said, you can buy a tank
何すんだ
today.
よ。
知らないわよ。
なんだ。
And to be fair,
ゆっくり。
Bassar is the only one we ever see going anywhere with his.
パパ、乗るのやめたら？
そうだな。やめろ、余計なことするなって。
Well, at least they're showing they're not very competent.
And we do get to see the old school ones again. That was a,
Yeah.
what,
ここの
YF11?
部品は総特会だ。
Yeah.
はい。
No, that's a VF1. Those are the original
I
ones.
keep
the
forgetting
VF1s.
Y versus V.
ああ、それもフェスティ
No,
バ
the
ルの予定の一
VF1s.
つだからな。
The VF11s are the ones that
それだけじゃ
Isamu
ない
was
んだよ。
flying
バサバサ
in the
聞かせ
opening
ろ
of
よ。
Macross Plus.
Well, they're also the base model here in Macross 7. All the
Finally.
normal... Yep, wasn't gonna happen. All the normal jets that aren't part of like Diamond Squadron, or Diamond Force rather, they said that those were VF11s. So that's why it's in my head.
しょうがねえな。3つの変形だけど、それぞれ全然違うんだ。感覚がな。
どう違うの？
乗りゃわ
It
かるよ。
better be something they explain by the end of the show, by the
ロープには
way.
特に注意した方がいいな。
Flower Girl.
大丈夫大丈夫。俺たちのバイクテク知ってるだろ？
全
And
然
it better not be
違う
some
のさ。
cheap ass. Oh, I thought I'd never get to talk to you, Fades to Black show's over.
腕が突っ張ってんぜ。
ほら、自然な力が入るとモニターの画像がブレちまうだろ。
You use a guitar. You don't use the. I guess you had to learn first how to do it.
Well, no, that's Milia's.
Yeah, Milia's.
This is what I said literally about the Ace Customs thing before.
Yeah.
About having two red ones right next to each other with barely anything between them. Oh, we're gonna make another jump.
I guess so. That's
何を焦っている？
あ、いえ。
why are you so worried? Yeah, because we lost our entire civilian population. That's why we're in a hurry,
Oh.
boss. But you know, who cares about civilians?
Well, remember,
fine.
he had to butt into the conversation between him and the captain about even trying this. The other guy wasn't even gonna bring it up.
Bridge bunnies.
Also, the romantic interests of that guy. Hey, you know how they're tracking us every time we sing our songs? It's just fucking sing all the time.
I don't think they know that. Well, I guess they do know that they track us. That's what they. That was the whole plan, that they were using the music
Yeah.
to distract them.
The boombox playing.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, never mind.
Oh, I mean, plus the fact they've been attacked at every concert ever. I think Gem and the Holograms would have picked it up by now.
Oh.
ビヒーダ、まだまだやるわよ。
Nope, we're not.
Maybe forgot the Fetish, drums no matter where the fuck she is. Is she gonna walk away from the drum set to drum somewhere else?
I guess they all live in the. Aw. She's just so tired.
あ
Oh.
それじゃ
Well, yeah, the motorcycle was outside the building the whole time.
You're 14, girl. Don't worry about it.
ホットコーヒーですね。
あ
I mean, she has a crush, and
あ、いや。
what am I talking about? This is anime, of course. Never mind.
どうしてあんな時間にレックスがバス
So
だ
I
と
just saw the generic McDonald's, and the first thing he goes, hot coffee? So,
Uh,
お嬢様、私も見ました。バサラの部屋から若い女性が出てくるところ。しかも明け方。二人は夜明けのコーヒーを飲んだんでしょうね。
well, there you go. Hot coffee.
お嬢様は鈍いな。
何よ。
健康な男と女が一夜を共にしたってことはも
hey, Mr. Mayor's assistant, don't you have really important shit to be taking care of right
う
now?
愛の次は男女の仲と言うでしょう。アルファベットの逆ですよ。
男女の愛の次アルファベットの逆 A, B, C, D, E, F,
It's not the alphabet in reverse.
I 愛の前は H え H?
Oh, I was gonna say maybe this plays out better in Japanese.
Even though she's doing it in English, but I guess so.
あきこさ
このライブ録音させてもらうわ。
んはーい。
バサラは打ち合わせしたいことがあるんだけど。
さあ、どこかで女の子にうつつを抜かしてるんじゃないんですか？うちのバンドの恥です。あんなやつ。
Don't you have a boyfriend? You've been on multiple dates
見
with
れ
him.
る？
ジェラシー？
そう、ジェラシーよ。
私がバサラに？まさか。
Also, you're 14.
あれは
Yeah, but this is. Here they come.
I'm pretty sure 14 is under the age of majority in Japan at the airing of this show. Look, they've attacked before the concert now.
俺バルキリー取ってくる。おう。いよいよ出番じゃな。行くぞ二人とも。おい、任せて。
I am going to investigate after this if these guys were ever shown inside of one of these things in SDF Macross.
命が騒ぐわい。
I gotta know if this is like a reference.
誰かバルキリーに乗り込む人はいないの？
やっぱあいつらそれにつってもゲームと現実じゃ迫力が違うよ。
Tell that to Amelia, who had the high score on the machine back in the
誰
day.
かが戦わなくては市民を守れません。
しかし大怪我が治っていません。
大したことはありません。市長、借りるよ。レックス、頼むわよ。
And she blasted her friends to oblivion. She can't hear you.
Well, this worked out well. Glad we spent time on it. Oh no, I was up for every one of the biker gang chicks crashing one after the other. You do belong with gambling.
Yeah.
And that's watching everybody else be assaulted while I sing at them.
Yeah.
If only Gamlin was around to see this. Oh, I hope Akiko is recording this.
Oh, 今は乗り換わっておりまして、あれはミレーヌお嬢様で。
ミレーヌが？
はい。さすがに血は争えませんね。
まあ、私の娘だもの。
しかも天才パイロットマクシミリアン・ジーナス艦長のお嬢様でもあるのですから。
You're fired. I mean, she's already done more than Millie did in the episode titled her name. Oh, okay, here we go. He'll wake up. Which then does... Well, no, he's Earth. It's a human. Never mind.
Oh, great.
Wow.
You just...
There's really two tall towers next to each other. This is a bit too soon, I think.
Oh, at least they got reprimanded for, you know, blasting a building to bits.
Because you're doing way too much to help.
Yeah.
And I'm actively here to stop that from happening.
ミレーヌ。だってそうでしょ。バサラが止めなきゃ。ふざけんな。まあ待てバサラ。何よ。自分は何もしないで歌う。
What, when you attack her?
私が攻撃しなきゃ今頃シティ
That
セブン
really plays into your philosophy, doesn't it?
本当にシティセブンを守ろうと思ってたら歌なんか歌ってられなかったわ。てめえ、俺がなんで歌ってると思ってんだ。知らないわよ。でも歌のおかげで私は思いっきり戦えたけどね。こいつ。バサラ落ち着け。バサラ。
Yeah, punch an innocent girl because he stopped her. Because she was fighting to help
困る
people.
って言ってんだよ。
何よガキガキって。レックスは大人よね。
は？
怪我したみたいよ。お見舞いに行けば。
何言ってんのお前。
トランプでも何でもすれば。
お前本当にどうかしちまったのか？
知ってるんだから。レックスと朝までいたこと。
おお。
何が
ミレーヌ、まあ待て。
何？
俺も一晩付き合わされたよ。
Hot.
レックスがバトロイドの構造を本格的にマスターしたいって言うんで、バサラと二人で教えていたのさ。だからミレーヌが朝まで練習していた
Y'all
の
were
も
pretty
知ってる
shit then, considering she flew into the air and crashed.
さすがのビヒーダも参ったみたいだぞ。
たくわけのわかんないやつだぜ。
何よ。もう。
何がもうだ。まったく。
Also, she exhausted a full-blood Centrati.
Apparently so. Even though she has a point, you were just getting in the way. She was actually doing the fighting and the winning. Yeah.
We're on the same side.
みんなのために戦って敵を倒す。それも一つの考え方かもしれないが、できれば戦わず敵も倒さずに済めばもっといいとは思わないか?
Yeah, but answer me this. Were you gonna do that last fight? Because if not, we already know people are in the hospital.
Yeah.
いずれ分かる時が来るさ。
Well, you're losing me, Ray.
Yeah.
Kind of respected you before.
Okay, now we're seeing that the music's having an effect on them.
No, I said that before. This episode.
Yeah.
That he was
But
tapping
the
his
thing
fingers,
is-
and it's like, okay, the music's
Yeah.
affecting him, and I said, oh wait, no, because he's human. I was going to say it implies that the enemy that aren't could be imbued with spiritua, as we were talking about before the episode started. But the fact that they said, oh no, this guy is human from Earth, it's like, oh, never mind. We already know humans can have this done, so.
Yes, but remember, he's a pilot with the enemy. And before, the speaker bought speakers and wouldn't do anything to them. They're like, whatever.
We don't know that all of the pilots are human. We know this guy is, but I would assume, since, again, a bunch of them are from 500,000 years ago, that they're all not human. But again, I'm assuming that just about everybody in space has human DNA in them somehow. Because apparently we're not from here. Oh, no, never mind. This is the whole, we had our genes spread from some other thing.
A protoculture thing, yeah.
Well, a bird.
Birdman, yeah.
Well, I believe my reigning theory is that, oh god, names. Let me just zoom back here real quick. Wait for this.
敵の兵士は私たちと同じ人間なの？
俺の歌で奴の記憶を取り戻してやる。
ガムリンさん、死んじゃダメ。
意識を戻せ。
次回、戦場のアルコール。
過激にファイヤー。
Okay. Gamlin is not our Roy. Gamlin's not going to die here. Yeah, what was my... Somehow...
His boss? His boss?
My reigning theory is that Shin and Sarah time traveled. So, my reigning theory is that the human genome is from them going back in time, having a bunch of kids, and then piecing out from the past. Due to, I can't remember the name of the islanders. Whatever the island mythos was that a giant bird-headed thing came back from the past and did all this, cut its head off. My theory was the head was the cockpit, which we know it is actually true, because that's where Sarah was piloting Birdman from. And that it fell in love with a human, which I believe just to be Shin, from also the cockpit, and then they had children together, which turned into humans. And the fact that they went out of their way to say that the Birdman could travel in space and time. That it's really just a full circle, self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the fact that they say that the Birdman then leaves Earth again. implying that Shin and Sarah went off somewhere else after they started the human race.
I mean, no, because the Birdman was on the island.
Right, but we're talking like Back to the Future logic here. That the Birdman was always on the island, that you're never going to find the prime motivator. That somewhere in time, there was an original Birdman that came to Earth, did everything, left itself here, and now every time there's always going to be a first Birdman, but there's always going to be a cycle of, here's from the outside, woo, we're in a circle, woo, we're in a circle, woo, we're in a circle. The prime motivator, we're never going to know. The original Birdman.
That's the part where I hate about time travel stories.
It's
If it is a time travel,
it's the same thing as like that whole infinity thing, where like, there's an infinite number of people, and every day there's an infinite number of people suffering, and every day one of them gets to go into a perfect heaven. Or would you want to be the infinite number of people that are in a perfect heaven, and every day one of them gets to put in eternal suffering? And the idea is that it doesn't fucking matter which, because you're taking one from infinity is still infinity. So, the logic part of my brain says, yeah, but there's still always a chance that you're that number one. So, but it's the concept of an infinite loop. That there is a prime motivator, but doesn't matter because we're in the infinity section now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Well, no, you've already said that I was wrong. Well, you said I don't think so, and then argued that there was semantics involved in time and space. So
I mean, that's my, because I want to simplify it. I just want space time. That's it.
Right. I'm just saying that that's my theory, and nothing so far has worked to prove or disprove it. So I imagine I'll get to the end of this whole Macross thing, and nothing will prove or disprove anything. No one will talk about Birdman ever again.
Maybe by the time we finish Delta, they'll already have the new series out. So
yeah, it's always possible. It's always possible we could go slow enough that there will always be more Macross.
Series.
I mean, the watch order that I made is already, I'm having to kind of adjust it because I realized that there's all this other content that wasn't listed on any of the stuff that I plucked from, like movies or shorts and side stuff. And it's like, we watched a couple of airplanes go through a thing, have an anniversary 2-minute thing. If we're doing that, might as well just include every fucking little thing.
It seems that they're going to also be made by Sunrise.
Also makes Gundam. Mobile Suit Gundam, the Origin specifically, which we're currently watching.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, that's the very intro of that is literally the sunrise thing with the Haru bouncing around.
No, I know. I'm not saying that. It will be an interesting mix because of the evolution of Macross from
it would be
Gundam.
Hilarious to me if they just crossed over. Universe Century and Macross all in together, Look,
and also
they're combining SNK with Street Fighter now.
Capcom.
No, SNK, Capcom was the twin. No, I mean in main universe. They're putting them in the main universe. Yeah, Terry, Mai, and E-Girl. I can't remember her name. Not E-Girl. E-named girl. No, it's not a cross. It's not SNK versus Capcom kind of thing. They're literally in the universe now. They're not guest stars. This isn't a SNK meets Street Fighter. It's literally they're being released as same universe.
Which is weird because SNK has always played very differently from Street Fighter.
Well, now it's gonna play like Street Fighter because they're gonna be in Street Fighter, and apparently they have their original SNK models, but they're based on City of Wolves, which apparently are different models from the models that they're getting, which I'm thinking is just going to be, here's their classic King of Fighters appearance, or Fatal Fury rather appearances. So that here's a model you can have, and here's a City of Wolves
Wait a
model
minute.
that you could
Isn't
have.
Fatal Fury the one which is a side scroller where you have
Yeah. Fatal
a
Fury is
blank
the side-scroller version. King of Fighters has some of those characters in it in a,
Cody? I don't remember what the other guy was,
Oh,
and then
Terry is the one with the hat, the red hat, which
yeah,
says Fatal Fury on it.
yeah,
Mai
which
is the
weird.
one who's very bouncy, because most people's
Yeah.
remembrances.
But Fatal Fury was the game that came out that it was 3 characters. One was a ninja, which was Cody. I don't remember what the other guy was, and then they had the mayor, which was the big powerhouse.
Well,
And
that's the
they would
guy
fight.
that I mentioned when we saw
Yeah,
Michael here in the show, where I was like, who
yeah,
is that guy? And I can't remember his name.
yeah. H something, because he's supposed to be an ex wrestler, and it's the mayor. And the whole thing is, yeah, if I'm remember the right game, and I think I
Yeah,
am.
he's the guy who hugs the people and then does like a
Yeah.
super spin into the air and drops them on their head.
Mm.
I mainly remember him. One is he's the main visual appearance for like multiple D&D builds, which are based on wrestling. Also, there was a death battle with him versus the Russian guy who wears a Speedo, whose name also escapes me at the moment. I remember barely anything. I don't play a lot of fighting games. Never really have outside of Mortal Kombat, the original. Mortal Kombat the original was the last fighting game that I ever beat. Though I did play Super Street Fighter back in the day as well. I'm literally just buying you time to finish looking up whatever you need with
Never
with
mind.
words in the air.
Yeah, this is gonna be just a rabbit hole. Let me just but yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna go in there because it's gonna take it too long, and it's gonna be a rabbit hole. I think I got the wrong game anyway. I'll have to check my main files and see if that's what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Mike Hager.
Mike Haggard.
Literally,
Yeah.
that's all it took for me to figure. All I looked up was Death Battle Mayor, because again, I remembered that. He is from Final Fight.
Oh, that's why I got it confused, because I thought Fatal Fury.
I think Final Fight
Final
is in
Fight.
that series.
Yeah.
Should be the cousin of Street Fighter, and the two series are set in the same universe.
Anyway, I mean, we also seen Gundam do more transformable mechs as well, mobile suits.
Well, I mentioned that before. Gundam 00, at least in the manga version, has a transform. It's literally like a Valkyrie, except it only has 2 forms, and it's not the good ones. One is the jet form, and the other is basically a Gerwalk. It has no full humanoid form. It is the worst of them. Ironically, it's also the one that gets stolen by the bad guy. So,
and after they started putting like satellite guns and stuff like that, yeah, things got really ridiculous with Gundam. Although, I mean, we have like wave motion cannons in Macross. But anyway, yeah, that was the episode. Was it better than the last one?
yes.
Yes. Which is still a bit ridiculous.
The last one set us up with the expectation of a thing to happen that happened, by the way, I did the math, 8% of the episode. Yeah. So, this one at least did something. It played on the relationship aspect in a stupid way. Yeah, I was there too. We were practicing all night. By the way, Rex crashed the moment she got into the thing, so you did a real good job. I'm more likely to believe that Ray is covering for the fact that they did have a threesome and tried to play it up as we were training her all night, given the fact that either y'all just fucking suck at training.
Mm-hmm. And I get where Ray is coming because he lost his buddy. We saw that in the background and all that. But still, the people that are doing the fighting are far more effective at saving other people than Bizarre just playing his guitar.
Something I really want to say, but it would be insensitive to the current political environment, so I'll hold that for off screen.
I get where they're going with the fact that they want peace and love and harmony, and that's ultimately the message of the show, as opens in Macross, original Macross. But if people are trying to kill you, you kill them back. And then you tell them, hey, would you stop trying to kill us? You want to take a break from killing for a while? We can explore that, right? So, yeah.
I mean, we never had a character in the previous Macross shows that were this ironically militant about not killing people.
Yeah, he's a militant pacifist.
Although
giant war machine.
his reaction to somebody wanting to save everyone with violence was to raise a fist at an underage girl. So
Yeah.
clearly a jackass.
I think he's getting right there at Hikaru levels. And yeah, no, Hikaru's my boy, but still. You can say Hikaru was confused, but this is just...
Hikaru was belligerent on a number of occasions, but not willfully so, like idiotically so, which is worse than being willfully ignorant. Basara is a willfully ignorant character. He's told people are being hospitalized for what's happening around him, and his action is still, I'm just gonna keep dodging. I mean, yeah, it's an argument we had multiple times I've watched Gundam Seed, where they're told not to fight within the space colony because any little bit of damage could affect its superstructure, could destroy it. But instead, the bad guys are still shooting at them, and we've seen you take a hit in the Gundam and no scratch. So if you stop dodging, the space colony will be fine. Instead, dodge it all over the place. The space colony fucking falls apart.
I mean, you are made of Gundanium. So
no, that is only Gundam Wing. That is a moon version of a super alloy. Yeah, no, it's Gundam Wing. It's Gundanium. It's a moon iron sort of composite. Other Gundams have different materials. Some of them are just normal materials, like Gundam 00 has just normal materials that can be damaged, but you have, God, I can't remember the name of the particle, a super particle, which is like a super shield around you.
Minovsky particles.
Nope, it's not Minovsky particles in Gundam 00. It's some weird, it's like I have a super star inside of me that's my generator, and that star produces like an element that I can push out as particles, and it's like invincible to everything. The trade back is some of them cause cancer, or some of them are limited. But the main Gundams have really no limitation, except I guess maybe limited in a protracted 4-episode battle.
Anyway.
And multiple Gundams have different things. That's all I'm trying to. That was my indication there.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're here, and
well, it looks like next episode is going to be the setup for the actual end of the arc here.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm looking forward to. You have anything else you want to say before we wrap up this episode?
Again, someone else was far more effective than Basara, who's like, I'm trying to do this. Bitch, you're not doing anything.
Again, the problem is that Rei. The problem is Rei is backing Basara against logic.
Yeah.
Someday you'll understand, girl who saved everyone.
And could have just finished that guy off, right? But so they don't keep coming back and keep attacking. I mean, how many mechs did they sneak up on City 7?
That's what I'm about to say. How many mechs do they have? Well, would have been one less.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they deliberately attacked because they saw that they were stacking the mechs to prepare for defense. It was like, we got to destroy them before they actually used them. So, yeah.
Actually, they attacked. That was going on all day. They attacked just before the concert. Because it's a fucking concert again.
No, but they actually were targeting the mechs this time. They said it. So
anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. Once again, I am Theta. This is Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?